It's kind of surreal being in Industry Weeks. I've been to 5, and throughout those 5 Industry Weeks, I sort of like picture myself like what it would be like to be at Industry Week, like giving a talk or doing a workshop. So it is kind of weird to be here doing it now in the industry, but it's really good. It feels good. Well, it was interesting to sort of talk to professionals and hear from them, and so they gave their insight. And sort of I spoke to a game designer. He said like 2 of the ways to get into the games industry was sort of through QA or through level design, and so I sort of like considered both, and I applied for both and applied for jobs, and I sort of managed to get into QA. And it's been really good for sort of get a really good entry position into the games industry. And so I think it definitely did help sort of when I got to talk to the professionals one-to-one after their talks and sort of get that information. I was giving a workshop on QA, so I spoke about what sort of the quality assurance of games is and how we do it, and then I gave them a build which had a bunch of like bugs and issues with it, and then they sort of did what I do on my daily basis. So they entered bugs into a database, and they did a checklist, which is basically like checking for bugs, and so I did that, and then they had a fixed version of the game, so they played a version with all the issues I fixed, and so they could check against the bugs, so they could sort of compare so they could sort of experience what my day-to-day is, but in a sort of controlled environment in like an hour. I guess if you're like me who did the games production courses and you sort of know what you want to do, sort of try, once you finish your course, just apply for as many of those sort of areas as you can. So if you want to work in design, apply to as many sort of design roles as you can. But at the same time also branch out into other areas like QA. So when I was applying for jobs, I wasn't necessarily looking to work in QA. When I saw a job come up in QA, I was like, actually, yeah, I could probably do that. And so I applied, and I was like, yeah, that's where I got my start. Maybe just try and find the jobs you want, search everywhere, but never give up really. You can get there in the end. And for me, it was quite easy. I got a job at the end of so I graduated, but I know for a lot of people it's kind of hard. So I know, just try your best, and you'll just keep trying, and you'll succeed eventually. Yeah, just keep grinding, keep finding jobs. I guess the main ones were my tutors, because my tutor Paul Allen, who's now who's now makes board games for Stone Sword Games, and he taught me a lot of game design, and I really looked up to him because he was literally doing it for real with his board game business. He released 2 board games while teaching, and I was really respected that, and I really liked. And he knew a lot about games and game design, so I was really looked up to him in that way. I mean, you learn a lot of practical skills. There's no there is a bit of academia, but a lot of practical skills, so which you can see directly link into industry. That feels really good, because compared to other courses, you might not feel like you'll know what you ought to do at the end of it. But once you're sort of learning those skills for the job you want. And I think, I learned a lot of skills, and I got a lot of opportunities as well to sort of make games and sort of try and work with companies to maybe make games. But it didn't always work out, but a lot of the time it did help. It's quite good. We have Sumo Digital and we have Dambusters, who are both big companies, and they're constantly growing, and they're some of the biggest gaming companies in the UK. And there's also it's quite a good hub for connecting to other companies, so we're quite close to Sheffield, quite close to a lot of the East Midlands sort of companies, so it's quite easy to commute as well with our good connections with transport, so it's quite good for games.
And does Confetti have good industry links with those companies?
I think so, yeah, especially I think Sumo, and I think Dambusters as well. I had the opportunity here from Dambusters to come do Industry Week.